Since Mist of Pandaria will be around the story of Varian Wrynn, I thought it would be nice to explain a bit of the lore and the past behind him, and maybe even speculate of what's going to happen. Now Varian Wrynn was born, and his father was named King Lian. Now he was born in the kingdom of Azeroth, but his father was killed by Corona Half-Orcan, in front of Varian his own eyes. Anduin Lothar grabs Varian and leads an escape to Lordaeron. In Lordaeron, Varian and Anduin are greeted by King Taranis and Arthas Menethil, who will later be known as the Lich King. They form the Alliance of Lordaeron, and with that alliance they take back Stormwind. This is called the Second War. Anduin Lothar unfortunately was killed before Stormwind was retaken. Varian is crowned king of Stormwind at the age of 18. Now the Stonemasons Guild offered their help to rebuild Stormwind. They did a marvelous job, and Stormwind grew out to be bigger and better than it ever was. In that time, Varian marries Tiffin and gets a son, who he names Anduin after Anduin Lothar. The Stonemasons want to be paid for the work, but they only get a little bit of the payment that was promised. Varian tried to negotiate, but he was outmaneuvered by the nobles of Stormwind. The Stonemasons are mad about the payment, and they start to riot in Stormwind, unfortunately killing the wife of Varian, Tiffin. They run out of Stormwind, hide, and form the Defias Brotherhood, led by Edwin Van Cleef. Varian grieves his wife and vows to build a better world for his people and his son. At some point, Varian sets out to Faramore to talk with Jaina Proudmoore after the events of the Third War. Now, the Third War are the events in the Warcraft 2 campaign where the orcs and the humans they team up with the elves to beat the demons. On his route to Faramore, Varian gets kidnapped by the Defias Brotherhood. The Defias were told about his trip by Lady Prestor, one of the nobles of Stormwind, who refused to pay the Stonemasons. Varian is kidnapped and taken to Elcas Island, where Onyxia plans to perform a spell on him. Bolvar Fordragon becomes the Regent Lord of Stormwind and vows to find Varian. Lady Prestor becomes the royal advisor, and she convinces Bolvar to crown Anduin king. Anduin would be crowned king, but the power would remain in Bolvar's hands until Varian was found or Anduin became of age. Now during classic World of Warcraft, we had no king inside Stormwind. We had Anduin, we had Lady Prestor, and we had Bolvar. Now going back to Elcas Island, where Varian is kidnapped, Lady Prestor performs her spell. This spell splits Varian in two, where one part is a strong-willed Varian, and the other part is the charming, weaker-willed Varian. Lady Prestor plans to kill the strong part and control the weak to rule Stormwind behind the curtains. Her plan fails as the Naga attack during the ritual. The strong part of Varian escapes by jumping in the ocean, but he washes up on the shores of Durotar with memory loss. A strong Varian is found by Rhaegar Earthfury, a Tauren who uses his slaves to fight as gladiators. Varian fights in Dire Maul, and the crowd is so impressed they name him Logosh, which means Ghost Wolf. Logosh slowly regains his memory, escapes, and makes his way to Darnassus. He meets Tyrande Whisperwind, who sends him to Jaina Proudmoore, as she would help him regain his memory. Jaina finds out that he is the last king of Stormwind, and sends him on his way to Menethil Harbor to make his way back to Stormwind. Now the weak part of Varian is captured by the Naga, and later on ransomed to Stormwind. His people welcome him back, but this Varian seems arrogant and markedly interested in Lady Prestor. Varian seems more concerned with spending more of the people's money than actually ruling the kingdom. Anduin is concerned about his father, and he asked the Ironforge King Magni to enlist the aid of Bolvar Fordragon and Marshal Windsor to research this imposter Varian. One day Anduin was riding horse with Varian, Lady Prestor and Bolvar, when suddenly his horse is startled and falls over a ledge. Varian swiftly catches him, and upon making physical contact, he is enveloped with visions of his abduction, weakening the spell Lady Prestor has over him. Anduin embraces his father, losing any doubts about him being an imposter. Meanwhile, Marshal Windsor is close to discovering the identity of the imposter, suspecting that he is not only an imposter, but also a dragon. However, before he can make his report, he is captured by the Dark Iron Dwarfs in Blackrock Depths. Meanwhile, Logosh and friends make their way to Ironforge to King Magni's place. Via magic, Bolvar informs King Magic about the kidnapping of Marshal Windsor, and Magni, Logash and friends rode to Blackrock Depths and rescued Windsor, who revealed to Logash what he had discovered. They enter Stormwind Keep and reveal Lady Prestor her real name, Onyxia. Yes, Lady Prestor was all this time Onyxia the Dragon. Now this is where lore from the comics and lore from the game clash with each other. In-game, we had the king captured on the island, and you as a player had to go out to free Marshal Windsor from Blackrock Depths. You escorted him back to Stormwind, entered the keep, and revealed Onyxia to be Onyxia. You then entered a little battle, killed her guards, beaten her down a little bit, and she teleports to Onyxia's lair, where you receive the key for her lair and you can go off fighting Onyxia. Now, as I was saying, they enter Stormwind Keep and reveal Lady Prestor her real name, Onyxia. Anduin gets captured by Onyxia to her lair, and the Varians and friends ride off to Faramore to free him. During the battle, Onyxia casts a spell that hits both Varians, making them whole again. They cut off her head and save Anduin. After that, Varian is invited by Jaina for a talk with Thrall about the Horde-Alliance relations. After the meeting, they get attacked by the Twilight's Hammer Clang, and amongst them is Garona half-Orcan. Varian believes that Thrall has sent her to assassinate him, like his father was. They win the fight, but, and I don't know if this is a typo or if this is something on Wiki that's wrong, but Garrosh blamed the Alliance for the attack, while Varian blamed the Horde. So I don't know if Garrosh was there, could be, I'm not sure. And Varian of course blamed the Horde for the attack, specifically Garrosh. Now enter Wrath of the Lich King. Varian allows Death Knights to enter the Alliance because High Lord Tyrion Fordring asked him. Now High Lord Tyrion Fordring is one of the heroes of the Second War. As I said, the Second War was when they retook Stormwind from the Horde. Bolvar, the friend of Varian who ruled his kingdom and practically raised his son, is killed at the Wrathgate by the Forsaken. Not knowing that the Forsaken were infiltrated by that time, Varian was pretty much pissed off at the Forsaken. After receiving word of Bolvar's death, Varian tells Jaina to ask Thrall what is going on. Jaina returns and tells him that Varimafras and the Royal Apothecary Society has betrayed them all and the Horde no longer control Undercity. Varian and Jaina go to Undercity in the hope of retaking it for the Alliance. Varian is disgusted by what happened to Old Lordaeron. After the battle, Varian confronts Thrall and declares that peace can never be achieved. When a fight breaks out between the Alliance and the Horde, Jaina stops Thrall and Varian from killing each other and teleports Varian, herself and the Alliance army back to Stormwind. Now keep in mind how powerful Jaina is. Yes, she can stop Logash and she can stop Thrall, the powerful shaman, just by freezing them and teleporting them out of there. That's some awesome power. Enter Secrets of Ulduar. Bronn discovers that an old god is out to get us all. Ronan says that the Horde and Alliance need to work together to face this threat. Garrosh insults the Alliance and starts a fight with Varian, but Ronan breaks the fight up. Varian points out that more men died from the Horde's treachery at the Wrathgate than from the Scourge and refuses to ally with them. He tells Thrall and Garrosh that he hopes the Death God takes them all before teleporting out with his men. Icecrown Citadel. Varian, again accompanied by Jaina, appears in Icecrown Citadel during the Alliance outro following the defeat of Deathbringer Sourfang. Murden Bronzebeard attempts to block Varrock Sourfang from claiming the body of his son, but Varian intervenes on the High Overlord's behalf, voicing his respect and honor for fellow warriors and allows him to pass. Now, I don't know what exactly happened to Logash in the meantime. Maybe he found his fatherly love for his son, but for some reason he lets this orc take his child, where in the previously episodes he would just let him die. Now around the time Worgers are introduced to WoW, came the novel Wolfheart, and in Wolfheart Varian comes to terms with his Logash side, or his Ghost Wolf side, with the help of the Worgen. It is then revealed that King Varian is some sort of spirit vessel for the Great Logash, also known as Goldrun. He can invoke these powers that include superhuman speed and reflexes. Yes, our king has superhuman powers. Now to summarize it all, and why our Varian hates the Horde with such a passion. The King of Stormwind, recently returned to claim his rightful place, has little love for the Horde. His reasons are many. When Varian was a young boy, he saw his father murdered by the half-orc Garona. The orc's war chief, Orgrim Doomhammer, slew the valorous Anduin Lothar, who had delivered Varian safely to Lordaeron after the fall of Stormwind. Varian was later enslaved by the Orcish gladiator trainer Rhaegar Urfury, and at the Wrathgate many brave Alliance soldiers died at the hands of the Forsakens. Varian, who had always been wary of the Orcs, discovered that the Royal Apothecary Society had been developing the new plague for years. The events that transpired during the battle for the Undercity convinced the human king that the Horde has been left unchecked for too long, and the time has come to make things right. Now what have we learned from the Cataclysm? I mean, Thrall saved the world. Has that influenced Varian at any point? His son Anduin went to study the light at the Draenei leader. Has that influenced him at all? Has the Cataclysm bonded him with his son? Has it opened his eyes? Or is he still the same stubborn person who just hates the Horde? Where will this lead us? Plus the side of his buddy Jaina, because if you look at all these stories, he's been with Jaina for so many times. What will it do when Jaina, the Peacekeeper, is finally attacked? Will this push him over the edge? Will he invoke his Logash powers? Will Thrall become his buddy in overtaking Garrosh? There are so many ways they can make this story so epic. They can make it such a great story for a human king, who they pretty much shafted the Alliance with a little boy until patch something, where he suddenly returned as our king without any in-game story. This is the chance for Blizzard to redeem themselves, to give the Alliance the story that we truly deserve. Now what does it all imply for Mist of Pandaria? What do I think will happen to Varian? It has been hinted that Varian will enter Orgrimmar, telling his soldiers to leave the women and children alive, that he doesn't want to get harmed and that he wants to put them on the sides and that he's only there for Garrosh. This implies that his fatherly love has grown beyond only that for his son, that the glimpse that we saw at Icecrown Citadel has transpired into the here and now, and maybe that he's come to terms that the orcs are not only just orcs, that they're also living and breathing creatures that deserve his respect. And who knows, maybe the pandas can give him some balance, some peace. I mean, he's been split up in two parts of him, and suddenly he was whole again and the king of Stormwind, after having memory loss, after being the gladiator of the orcs. What does that to a man? How can you find your peace as a ruler when you're out there fighting orcs and battling for your life? Will he finally accept his true destiny? Will he become the king of the Alliance? I think he will. If you were going to follow Matson's word on it, he will get the story that he deserves. He will become the leader that we deserve, and he will take out Garrosh. Now I hope my story has informed you a little bit about the story of Varian. I can go on rambling for hours on what might happen for him, but we'll just have to wait until the expansions are released. I hope you enjoyed the story. Maybe till next time. See ya.